How good is a test prep company? How do you compare to others? This is a question that I get many a times, and I think the only way, or probably one of the best ways to compare two test prep companies or two prep options is to compare the number of 700 plus scores reported by its students. And today, I'm happy to announce that our students have reported more than 200 verified scores on GMAT Club. Now, how significant is this milestone? To do that, let's kind of look at how many scores get reported on GMAT Club. We've reported 200, which of course is the most this year. But prior to 2021, if you cut across the years, the most scores that were reported were in 2016, and that number, let's kind of make it slightly bigger, was 147, and that number was also by eGMAT. In fact, if you cut across the 5 years from 2016 to 2021, you'd see is, hey, we are at 202, or in fact at 210 today, given that it's 20th of October today. We expect to get about 260 such scores. The year prior, this number is twice as many as was reported by TTP student, who reported, TTP reported most scores in 2020, and that number was 129. But then the second highest number was again by us in 2016 or so. So this is a significant improvement over what test prep companies had demonstrated, including eGMAT, that is, as what was possible. So the next question that we had was, is this a trend? I mean, has everyone suddenly become smarter, or have you guys become more diligent when it comes to reporting such scores? Or in other words, has every test prep company reported more scores? So to do that, we actually compared the number of 700 plus scores reported for significant prep companies on GMAT Club. We kind of focused on companies that have thousands of students, which are comparable number of students or so. And what you see over here is that for most companies, the numbers have remained the same. For example, for TTP, last year and this year, the numbers are very comparable. Again, remember, all of these numbers are till October 15th. For Manhattan, they've seen a small dip. For GMAT Wiz, it may seem like that they've reported twice as many numbers, twice as many scores, but remember that this is over and above. This is, first of all, starting from a very small base, but then in 2020, GMAT Wiz was only a partner for about 4 months. They became a partner in May of 2020. So those 700 plus scores were for 4 months, and these 10 are for almost 10 months. So the number more or less seems parity. The only difference is for eGMAT, where this number has gone up by about 3x, and actually even more than 3x or so. Okay. Now, again, to make sure that we compare like to like, we've not included private tutoring reviews over here. Okay. So then a lot of people ask this question, 200, is that all? After all, you have thousands and thousands of reviews. And the reason why comparing that 200 is really important is because that's, GMAT Club reviews are the only way in which we can compare two prep companies. But to look at the number internally, I'm going to share, a report, which is a mixed panel report that we have. Now, mixed panel is a third-party analytics tool. We actually send data from our platform to mixed panel, and it allows us to analyze, segment that data. And here we have a query where we're looking at people who've completed a mock with a total score of 680 or higher. Now, we've had in the last 12 months, we've had about 3,500 such instances, and this is a dynamic report. I can really toggle it: 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, 7 days. I can look at yesterday versus today as well. Again, this is at about 3 p.m. So we haven't had the entire day. But when you compare the total number of 680 or higher scores in the last 12 months and compare it to the prior year, what you see is that number has gone up by about 80-85% or so. You can see the date ranges that are over here. Okay. Now, even when I compare, not just 680, but let's kind of look at 740 as a metric, and you can see that number is higher as well. And this kind of gives you a sense of how many scores or likely 700 plus scores have been reported by our students. Now, I don't know this number for other prep companies. Of course, this number is internal to them. Now, let's kind of go back and say what's driving these score improvements, and let's go back to the whiteboard. I think for us, 4 things have have been drivers of more success in 2021. The first is our last mile push program. This is something that we started in March or April or rather we started it in December of last year. We productionized it in March or April of this year, and it's been a tremendous driver of success. Our students now know when they get to that 630, 690, how would they get to that 740, 750, 760 mark. Scholarium 2.0 has been a huge success. It has allowed both our GMAT strategy experts and our students to figure out what their strengths and weaknesses are and where should they focus next. Expert AI has been huge for us, where it has, again, allowed us to do course correction while students are studying, making sure that they get to their target scores faster. And one of the biggest drivers for us with regards to this success is Quant 2.0. Why? Because this Quant 2.0 is a completely redesigned course, and it has allowed us to deliver more and more Q49 or higher scores. Now, just how many such scores? I'm going to compare this table, which shows the number of Q49 scores delivered between Jan and July overall. And you can see we've delivered about 104 scores. The next most scores were delivered by Target Test Prep. Now, what you would notice over here is that many of these scores came from, about half of these scores came in the months of June and July, which is when we were releasing the last installments of Quant 2.0. Now, some of this number is also because of a bias of our general student population. We get a lot of Indians, a lot of non-natives who are generally good in Quant. So I'd say about 30-35% of these folks are people who don't even need help in Quant and end up doing good. But then so are students from Crack Verbal and GMAT Whiz, where they also have a very similar student population or so. So you can really see the impact of Quant 2.0, which is where you see more scores here as well. Okay, so then a lot of people ask, what is next? What's next for you? And one of the big things that we are doing is we're doubling down on AI, because we see a tremendous potential where AI can help students study better right from the get-go, build better and more personalized and more customized study plans, and of course do course correction while learning. So very soon you'd see an announcement or a release for what we call as a PACE engine. What is PACE? PACE stands for Personalized Adaptive Course Engine. What this would allow you to do, allow us and allow you to do, is to really build personalized courses that are not just personalized from a starting ability standpoint, but also react to how you perform on our platform. And I think this would be revolutionary. The first version of this is going to be released in the next 30 days or so, and then we're going to continue to build upon it. This is something which is huge for us. The second thing, because we've been able to make prep so predictable, very soon we'll be announcing a 150-point score improvement guarantee. Now, this is a pure guarantee where you buy our course, and if you don't improve by 150 points, and after hitting the internal metrics, you get your money back. So this is going to be a pure guarantee, not a guarantee where we say, hey, go take the course once again. You will get your money back or so. Of course, that 150-point score improvement is going to be for lower starting scores, but even for people who's starting at that 700 score or so, will have a significant score improvement guarantee, because we understand what it means for you to get a 730 score. It means admissions in better schools. It means more scholarship. So you'd have a guarantee to back your efforts. Now, with that, I want to thank everyone who's been a part of eGMAT and who's made this possible. People who work at eGMAT, it's their efforts that make such success possible. And so I want to thank you guys for putting in that effort that has allowed us to deliver this disproportionate amount of success. I also want to thank all eGMAT students. Why? Because we prepare a prep course, we deliver it to you, but it's your diligence where you work on this day in and day out, put in that effort, and essentially, even when times are down, you actually write to us, you don't give up, and it's because of your diligence that we have such scores. And if you're one of those people who's at that 680, 690 mark, you're an e-GMATer, you can't figure out what to do next, do write to me at rajat@e-GMAT.com. On the other hand, if you're not an e-GMATer, you need help with your preparation, you can also write to us and see if e-GMAT is the right resource for you. Overall, happy learning.